Hey, good evening, all of you. I come from India, got this opportunity. Thanks so much for the summit people to have invited us. So I'm going to walk you through something which is going to be very different from all the banking stuff that we have heard and the ecosystem that has gone, around the banking system. What we are trying to do is create an ecosystem for mutual funds. So that's the point that I'm going to talk about. We are a new age wealth tech company trying to drive a transfer agency platform for the entire investment management industry. A little bit about India. I'm sure most of you know. Hopefully we should become the third largest by 2028, become about a 5.5 trillion economy, and be there, on the top. And most important among that is the financialization that's happening in India. When I say financialization, people are moving away from a conventional savings account, CASA account as we call it in the banking system, to put money in stocks, to put money in mutual funds, alternates, PMS, pension, and so on. So there's a great movement happening there. Some of the statistics is quite staggering. I come from a country which has a staggering population anyway. We have 1.5 billion people with us. So whether it is banking, whether it is mutual funds, assets under management, whether it is the number of account holders which are in the financialized part of the society, all those numbers like 140 million becoming 250 million, 40 million becoming 100 million investors in mutual fund is a staggering case for creating something very new. And I'm going to quickly talk about what we are going to do. So I'll skip this slide because this again talks about the growth story that is there in India. The transfer agents are a very important functionary. I kept hearing in the system that many people are creating ecosystem around bank, many people are doing banking as a service, etc., etc. But when it comes to mutual funds, the dependence on the service provider is just to provide the settlement services. And that's where the big fallacy lies, and that's what we want to change. If you want, for example, if you want to kind of open a bank account between bank A and bank B as a customer, what will you do? You look for the bank which, keeping the returns aside, you will look for a bank which has better product offering, better technology, ease of consuming their services, etc., etc. But in the case of a mutual fund, that did not happen so far, and we are trying to rechange and create the new rules of the game. So that's a traditional function of a mutual fund transfer agent, which is primarily on onboarding, transaction processing and settlement and so on. And there are multiple challenges that the industry faces. One, it's a 25-year-old industry, legacy systems, duopoly, not being able to provide attention to the customer. Innovation is like a gone thing. You would have never heard in the media that the mutual funds have innovated this and innovated that, etc., etc. And that's all because of a very low product customization capability, too much of business between two players, and the fact that they are sitting on a legacy stack. So what does Validus aims to do? So Validus aims to do this, perhaps the most critical slide. We want to be way beyond what a modern fintech needs. For example, you keep talking about having embedded selling in insurance. When you buy a car, do you buy insurance separately? You don't, right? When you buy a travel ticket, you don't buy insurance separately, right? Imagine that in the case of a mutual fund. What's the use case? The use case that you want to develop is when you are getting your payroll, can you also put aside some money in the mutual fund? When you are kind of clearing your tax, can you put some money side by side in a mutual fund? We spoke about embedded selling in one of the other meetings. Embedded selling is so critical in this business. We want to kind of create a marketplace, and that marketplace will ensure that all the ecosystem players, whether it's distributors, lenders, you want to redeem money. You want to redeem 50,000. Somebody is not coming up and telling you that this is a fund which gives you 12% return and you can take a loan at 9%, instantly gratified. None of that is happening. So we are creating a marketplace. Most importantly, we are integrating lenders, bankers, distributors, execution-only platforms to kind of serve that market. So what we are creating is what's called as a funds passport. We spoke about an infra layer being created. A lot of fintech customers really do not want their consumers to kind of move to another channel. So you want to make sure that your entire application is API and SDK integrated. So that's what you are driving through an API gateway layer. We are creating a Gamify marketplace. This is for the small IFAs, and we want to democratize distribution for them. So we want to give them right from CRM to analytics to onboarding to transacting and all of that. Yeah. So this is the kind of experience that we really want to bring in. We want to create a banking-like ecosystem for the mutual fund industry. If the financialization is happening so fast, is the technology and process supporting that activity? That's what this aims to tell. So imagine like Coke or Pepsi, I just have 10 seconds left, I'm sorry. Coke or Pepsi, you have Coke, Pepsi everywhere. You have a fountain, you have a bottle, you have a 1 liter bottle, and in many ways you can consume, right? Now you imagine a situation where the mutual fund becomes QR code based, UPI based, and so on. So I'm largely done.
All right, thank you, Validus.
Thanks.
Yeah.
You mentioned, in the Indian scenario, there's duopoly. So can you just explain the market opportunity and, what's the size we are looking at?
Oh, the Indian market opportunity right now is about 250 million US. It's going to go to about $500 million in 5 years' time, and that's played by just two players, one based out of Chennai and one based out of Hyderabad. These are publicly listed companies called CAMS and KFIN. And that's what we are out to compete with, but our lateral benchmarks are very different. We are taking lateral benchmarks from e-commerce industries and other entertainment industry, etc., to build the platform.
Where are the mutual funds that you will be distributing through your platform? Where are they domiciled?
So right now it's India, and then we want to expand into Southeast Asia as well. Right now we are focusing on the Indian market.
That's the customer market. I'm talking about the mutual funds that you're providing access to.
Yeah, these are all based in India.
They're all based in India.
Yeah, that's correct.
Okay.
Who in the end will be your customers and what will be your revenue model going forward?
Oh, ours is a B2B business. So our revenue model is linked to the basis point of the average assets under management that the asset manager have, because we bring in a whole range of services for them under one platform and umbrella. So that's the model that we use. Yeah.
And let me help you. You couldn't show that slide as well, but I'm curious. So how is the traction at the moment?
Oh, right now we are in the process of developing the platform, and that's where we are raising money right now. So we are at a seed stage. We already rolled out the alternate investment fund platform. Now we are developing the mutual fund platform. So our ICP customers are those which are having assets below 5 billion, right? So those are ICP customers that we are engaging with.